SVB advises on what employers and employees on the island can do to prevent high blood pressure levels. Plus, in today's lifestyle segment, a comprehensive study says sleep deprivation has a direct impact on childhood obesity. And we take a look at the flaws within Aruba's education system. 15 on 15 starts right now. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Yanta Liu. According to SVB, more and more workers on the island are developing hypertension, which is also known as high blood pressure. This directly impacts productivity. Dr. Christian Mejia, the medical controller at SVB, says both the employer and employee has a role to play to help prevent hypertension. Dr. Christian Mejia says it makes economic sense for employers to step up to the plate and make certain changes within the work environment to help prevent employees from developing high blood pressure levels. There are simple, immediate actions that management can take now.
First of all, set an example. Yeah, you have to change the culture within the organization. Talking of the hotel sector, which I know of, is that they have centralized kitchens. So if you are cooking the meals for your employers, you actually have the chance to reduce salt on the food that you are delivering to your employees, to your associates. So that is a very practical and immediate thing you can start doing tomorrow.
SVB advises employers to provide opportunities for staff members to be fully informed regarding their health. An annual health checkup would be an example. However, organizing these checkups aren't enough. Companies should take initiatives to ensure employees will have positive health results.
So another thing employers can do is to have regular executive checkups of their employees' high blood pressure, but there is a but to this, and that but is that awareness without action will not conduct to change. So if employers choose to provide them with regular checkups, they should also provide their employees or associates with opportunities to participate into health promoting activities within or outside the working environment.
Besides for employers, workers also have a part to play. Dr. Mejia says, first and foremost, employees need to understand what they can and cannot control about their health regarding hypertension.
Realize yourself that there are two types of risk factors. There are changeable risk factors and non-changeable risk factors. Unchangeable risk factors are, for example, me being a woman or me being a man. Yeah? Another risk factor is age. We cannot change that, but we can change being overweight, we can change smoking, we can change salt intake, we can change water drinking, we can change exercise, we can change strength training. So there is more from the patient's part to do than things that we cannot do.
And moving forward in other local news, Data Panic recently hosted an album launch party, but one important element that was created along with the production of the album has yet to be revealed. A one-of-a-kind audio-visual concert is scheduled for this Friday. Here's the man himself, Michael Lampa, to explain.
We're now presenting, we filmed a documentary for about a year, and it's time to show it to the public now. So this Friday in Casa Cultura, the 23rd, we're going to be presenting the documentary first during the show, and then after the documentary, we're going to be giving a concert for the public. It's different than what we used to, because normally we're in a setting where everybody can just jump up and dance. This is a seated concert.
At the audiovisual concert, you have the opportunity to get an inside look at the band. Here is a taste of what people can expect.
With a big group of artists to present you this show is going to be a bit different, where we have people coming onto stage, changes happening, different songs, different vibe, and I think it's also a collaboration with the video art, where we're going to present also. It's going to communicate the data panic concept even better. I think in terms of the documentary also, it's a really nice video to show where the inspiration comes from for our latest album, but also for our project in general.
The concert is scheduled at Casa Cultura for this Friday. You can get tickets at Casa Cultura, Bula, or Cuts and Curves for 25 florins. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Aruba is struggling with childhood obesity. A new comprehensive study has concluded that lack of sleep within children directly impacts weight gain. Children who routinely don't get enough sleep may gain weight. Researchers followed more than 1,000 children in the U.S. from 6 months to 7 years. Scientists kept track of how much sleep they got and compared it to normal sleep levels for each age group. This study found children who grew up chronically sleep deprived were heavier than 7-year-olds who got enough sleep. Insufficient sleep during any time in early childhood is detrimental. Keep in mind, TV could have an impact on a child's sleep pattern. It is good to note that healthy sleeping promotes obesity prevention. Chronically sleep deprived is listed as an average of 10 hours less sleep than they are supposed to get. Facebook has become even more invasive. There is a new way people can creep on your relationship status on Facebook. The social networking site just released a feature that allows you to quickly ask a friend about their relationship status if their profile doesn't list it. So goodbye to scrolling through albums wondering if that person in 70% of their photos is actually their significant other. Here's how it works. First, you must be friends with the person in order to inquire about their relationship status. If the user has left the relationship status blank or private, you will notice an Ask button next to it. The user can then publicly or privately reveal their info to you. It is pretty strict though. You can't joke around and say that, yes, I'm married to Ryan Gosling. If you choose to answer, the person who asked will receive a notification and email alerting them of your relationship answer. This Ask button isn't exclusive to relationships. The same button appears for other things like your current hometown or your city. Now, do you exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and follow a healthy diet, but somehow still find yourself feeling blah from time to time? Well, good news, there are natural pick-me-ups to help you feel refreshed. The first tip to getting your spirits lifted is easy being in Aruba. Catch some rays without going overboard. Exposure to sunlight helps a lot, so open up drapes in your room or get outside more often. Also, don't underestimate the power of the human touch. Hugs, hand-holding, and even getting a massage. These are all helpful to boost your mood. Volunteering may not be the first on your list, but people always report feeling better about themselves afterwards. Experts also say keeping a journal or meditating are other ways to lift your spirits and get you motivated about life. This is it for our lifestyle segment today. Here is what's coming up next. A graduated student from the University of Aruba conducted her qualitative research paper on Aruba's education system. The primary reason being she struggled greatly with high school, so she set out to investigate the island's education system. What she found was a Netflix generation trapped in a blockbuster system. According to one university graduate's research, students on the island are stuck in an education system that has not evolved with the times.
The next Flex generation represents the upcoming generation and the generations that are already existing. Seeing that the population of Aruba consists of young adults, young professionals, and then all of these individuals, especially students, represent the next flex generation within my thesis. The blockbuster is actually represented in the system, how the system is run, his bureaucracy, his mindset, the structure, the organizations, and anything that would have to do with a system, and how the system is composed, and who all this and its stakeholders.
Indira says the success of a student's education can be detrimental to the level of the curriculum. The flaw in the system is the fact that the educational curriculum has been built to fit society rather than to fit the students.
Seeing that we have to copy a system from Holland and we never developed our own educational system that fits our social and cultural context, it became even more difficult for a student to exercise his own giftings. And then what happened also is that the policies were more geared towards developing a sustainable economy than towards developing the gifting of the students. As such, it goes back that the research findings suggest then that the students are trapped within a system, and a system that has not changed during the years.
Within Indira's research paper on Aruba's education system, she analyzed all facts, policies, and developments in order to help further elaborate her argument on the fact that the creation of the education system never had the students as the primary concern.
It did not evolve with the times. What happened is it evolves with the economy, which is different. It did not evolve with the students, with the new technology. It did not evolve in that way. It was always to fit. It was always to work with the market. The market in 1985, it was more, we needed vocational students. So let's start a vocational reform. Let's start a reform, and then in order to get vocational students to enter the market, it was neither, no, let's develop the students, develop their gifting, develop their potential, and then bring them within the market and see how they will be able to grow and make the market more sustainable by using the gifting. No, it was not, let's equip the students to fit within an economic market. So it was more, the market needed this type of student, let's develop that.
That is it for us today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow night with all the latest, so be sure to join us. We'll see you then.